What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone. Welcome back to a real update, I'm assuming, or potentially real update. You know, we can never say it's a done deal until he's actually holding up the jersey. At this moment in time, this transfer window, that's the only way we can actually say it's a done deal. But Nico Gonzalez, it's getting extremely close right now. Meeting, with Fiorentina to finalize the deal. Is it going to be a loan with obligation? Probably. Is it going to be 30 plus 5 in bonuses? Maybe. That will come out at the end. The title of the show is Top Deal. And you guys might say, are you on smoke? I will explain why I think the club views it as a top deal, because it's not Nico Gonzalez, it's also Arthur, it's Kostic, and it's much, much more. It's the Weah situation, is everything why I think the club views this one, Nico Gonzalez, as a top deal. But if you ask fans, they're like, that's not a top deal. That's nothing at all. But that's what we're going to talk about. Before we do that, as always, smash the like button. Let's push to 100 at least. And let's talk why I think the club views this Nico Gonzalez deal as a top one. Okay, so top deal. You might say that's not a top player, and I would agree. With top, or depending on what you mean with top player. But why I think the club views this as a top deal is for a certain range of points. One, if it's confirmed that's a loan with an obligation, then it helps the club massively this summer, because we are low on cash, and the cash is for Koopmeiners if it's gonna happen or not gonna happen. That's one. Two is it's more, because we are trying to get Arthur and Kostic to Fiorentina. Now, it's a loan deal. We will pay part of the wages, 100% those of Arthur, maybe not so much those of Kostic. But again, we can talk about Giuntoli being bad at this. Who wants Arthur on 6 million? We were always going to pay part of his wages, and we were not going to terminate his contract this summer, because that financially would be an absolute disaster for the club. We cannot take that hit. So that was always going to be the case. I don't blame Giuntoli for that, because I don't see a club taking Arthur off our hands and those wages. With Kostic, kind of the same thing. He's on 3.5, which is a lot for a player who showed actually nothing last season, was injured the entire summer as well. If he is like, I don't want to go to the Saudi League or Turkey, you are stuck. Nobody's going to pay Kostic 3.5 million euros a season, and you're back in a situation where you need to loan him out and maybe pay small part of the wages. That being said, it will still save the club money, rather than keeping them in the squad or in the stands, because they're not moving out. That's why I think the club is looking at this as a top deal. Also, Nico Gonzalez, in the club's eyes, proven. Serie A proven. Stats, if you love stats, goals, assists, perfect. He's proven. And that's what we need. I think that's what the club is looking for, because before we talk about, we're not good enough for in Europe, these players are not good in Europe, we shouldn't be worrying about Europe. I mean, you should be worried. You won't go into Europe. You do not want to go into Europe and absolutely get smoked every single week. However, the goal is not to win the Champions League. We're not winning the Champions League. Not now, not next season as well, because we're far off. The goal is to be sustainable as a club on and off the pitch. And that starts with Serie A. Be up there. Compete. Just be in the mix, every single season. Win it. Be in the mix the following season if you don't win it. And then you build from there. We're so far off that, like real far off that, like a crazy amount between us and Inter, then we need to take steps. We cannot miss out on certain steps. And certain steps are Serie A proven, to actually be dominant, or try to be dominant in Serie A again, or be up there, and be a name where it's like, season starts, kicks off, and Juve are up there, to win the title. They're one of the favorites. We're not one of those teams. If you add a Nico Gonzalez, he is Serie A proven, it will give you that. And that's, I think, how Giuntoli is looking at it, and Motta, because he's not a creator. Like, he's not a player who will come in and beat his man on a weekly basis, consistently, pays all. He is just a very steady player who gets his goals. He's hardworking. I like him. I think he's a very steady player. That's why I said, get a player who has done it. and who will be coming into this team and will show the younger guys, maybe like all the wingers, even Weah, who didn't play much last season, Yildiz just around the corner, Mbangula, for example, and shows them, okay, this is how you just play stable, and not go from an 8 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10 the following week, but just rather than having an 8 out of 10, just have an 8 out of 10, and the following games, straight 7s, steady, get us over the line. And I think that's why the club is probably excited about that deal. Now, how much is he worth? I think in today's market, 30, it's what it is. You're not going to get a player for less money. And you can say, oh, he's not worth 30. I think he is. I think he is. Will it be 30 plus 5? Will it be this plus that? Who knows? That we will only know if the document shows and Juve is like, here we go, Nico Gonzalez, payable over 40 years, 30 plus whatever, loan with an obligation. The club will put that out. It will be around 30, and I think that's always going to be the price. But if they get Kostic off our hands and wages, and Arthur part of the wages, I think the club is sitting there and being like, okay, that's already a win. We don't need to worry about that this season. Hopefully do well at Fiorentina and we can move them on next season. When maybe potentially it's also easier to just terminate the contracts, as well. So for the club, it's like a win situation. The only downside is it's very late. We play Verona and we need to get him in ASAP because Weah is injured and you cannot go to Verona, who are a much better team than Como, and go there with Savona and expect you to beat Verona without any issue. Like, you need to show some sort of level of respect towards Verona, who did well against Napoli and beat them without any issues as well. So that's that. On Koopmeiners, only time will tell. Right now, it's just, you can believe a story, but it's just Atalanta. The deal is in place, basically. We have the money to put on the table, apparently, because it's not been reported that we're 20 millions off or so. That's not the reporting. The reporting is that they're pissed the way Koopmeiners is acting, that they want a replacement. They brought Samardzic in. They are still hoping to convince him, but again, Koopmeiners went to the doctor and got another prescription saying, I'm stressed out, I cannot play, and he's not showing up. So it's a very toxic and weird situation where if I were Juve or Atalanta or a fan of Atalanta and this happened to my club, I would be like, just get them out, move it on. And I think Gasperini is angry because the club made it about this right now, and now it's like, okay, 10 days left and this is the situation. But right now, you can say, oh, we have Douglas Luiz, it's overkill, and Yildiz. That was Motta's main guy. His main target. You cannot miss out right now. You didn't give him this ball playing center back from Calafiori to Toribo. You cannot miss out on Koopmeiners as well. Because he is a main target, and at least one main target you need to give him if it's key to the way he wants to play, and he is key to the way he wants to play. Like a defender that we didn't get, obviously, but we cannot really do anything about that right now. So that being said, why I think the Gonzalez is a top deal, I explained. That's one. I know that the deal took very, very, very long, to get the deal done. But you need to just listen to, again, Alfredo Padula, who has been spot on. He's the best journalist when it comes to Juve this summer, and he always said that on Gonzalez, just remains calm because Gonzalez wants Juve. And Fiorentina were open to selling him to Juve, and then the news came out, and it was all media driven right now. Fiorentina always had the idea of selling Gonzalez. They left him out of the squad, no squad numbers. Like, that was always going to be the case. I know it's 40 million, and Pedula said, nah, that's never going to be the case. It was always around 30 plus bonuses. That was always the talk, and that, yeah, Arthur and Kostic are up the debate. It's not a given that they're going to join them, but it's an idea. It's an idea that's been out there for a couple of weeks as well. It's just rumors, links, and it could materialize towards the end of the summer, basically. But the Gonzalez one, you need to get done because that's your main guy on the wing position right now, and we need wingers because Timothy Weah is injured, and even if he comes on Friday or joins whatever, just having him on the bench of Verona is already key because, like I said, ready-made Serie A, you just can slot him in and he will do a job against Verona. Even if it's for 45 minutes, that will do. But next, you need to get that Koopmeiners deal done. Kalulu, it's done. Fine, and maybe another Conceicao, because Abdullah said the club wants 2 wingers, always 2 wingers. So let's see. Busy day, but the big fish, Koopmeiners, that's still the one we're waiting for. But yeah, people, that's it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will speak to you later tonight for a call-in show. Ciao.